So you're wanting to get into indie gaming. Brilliant. But where on earth do you start? Indie gaming has blown up massively in recent years, and with this many games for you to choose from, it can be a huge task to decide which ones to play first. Well, worry not, I am Mike from thempeeps.com and I'm here with 5 awesome indie games to get you started. If you agree with this list or if you have any suggestions, make sure you let us know down in the comments. If you've been subscribed to Them Peeps for a while, you'll know how awesome Pocket Build, or Super Build if you're playing on PC, is. Pocket Build is pretty much my ideal indie game. It's great fun to play, it's got an amazing community, and the developers are always adding to it. The thing that you'll love about Pocket Build is how much creative freedom you have. While there is the boundary set by the style of the assets, the way you can use these assets is pretty damn awesome. Unlike most city building games, you can merge buildings and objects together to make something new. This, combined with the fine-tuning placement tools, opens up the floor to some fantastic possibilities. You can lose yourself in Pocket Build for hours at a time, adding and fine-tuning your builds to perfection. If you're interested in getting started with Pocket Build, I've popped the link to the game in the description as well as some links to some awesome Pocket Builders, so be sure to check them out. If you're wanting something more shooty bang bang, then I'd say take a look at Gunfire Reborn. Gunfire Reborn is a roguelite first-person shooter role-playing game for PC. The gameplay is nice and simple, just run through the levels and take out all the enemies in your path. You have special powers to help you deal as much damage as possible, which can be an absolute lifesaver when the going gets tough, which it inevitably will do. There are loads of different guns you can pick up and they all have a specific playstyle, so you'll have to spend the time mastering them all, as no doubt you'll be switching between these pretty rapidly. It feels rewarding when you progress further and further through the levels, especially when you're stuck at a specific point. The first time I made it to the first world boss, I was ecstatic, and it was a bit of a shame really because it was a fair few tries until I got there again. While the levels may be a bit linear and the amount of times you'll die means you'll be replaying them over and over, I never found it repetitive. The feeling of progression when you start to get the hang of everything keeps you moving forward as you scrape closer and closer to beating the worlds. If you're interested in Gunfire Reborn and want to give it a go, I've popped the link to it in the description. It's currently insanely cheap on Steam, so go ahead and give it a look. Maybe you're feeling a bit industrious and crafty. Well then, Satisfactory is the way to go. You begin your journey dropped onto a planet's surface with the simple mission of exploiting all of the resources on the planet to create a base of operations for your employer. You can get lost in this game, from hunting for resources to building miles upon miles of conveyors. Satisfactory will grab your attention and keep hold until it says it's done with you. I've literally spent hours in this game just trying to figure out how to make sure that my production line was as optimized as possible. Aside from all of the factory building fun, you've got a ton of research to find and process. These offer different benefits, from a productivity boost, different recipes for your constructs. Tie this in with the progression milestone system and you've got a hefty set of tasks to accomplish. As with all of the games on this list, I've popped a link to the game and a link to our review of the game in the description. Go ahead and check it out if you want to find out a bit more. Perhaps you're looking for something a little less friendly. Well then, Pascal's Wager is a game I would definitely recommend. It's a Souls-style game, which means it's hard. You have to work your way through the dark setting, battling grotesque monsters in your path, most of which are a viable threat to take you down if you're not wary. I would definitely say get a controller hooked up to your mobile for this. When I tried the touchscreen controls, I nearly threw my phone through the window, but the controller led to a lot less frustrations. It feels a lot bigger than a mobile game. The graphics are very nice, it feels like you're playing a PS3 game. You've got a nice story to get immersed in, with all of the standard fantasy tropes and the mysteries that you would come to expect from a game which takes inspiration from the Souls games. I'll pop the link in the description down below, and I'm currently working on my full review, so for all you future viewers out there, look out for that, it'll be down there too. Alright, you caught me. This one's a bit of a classic indie, but it's on this list for a very good reason. Apart from just being awesome, it's had an update this year which has added quite a bit of content. Terraria is a sandbox survival RPG game. It's kind of like a 2D version of Minecraft. You build bases, dig caves, craft gear, and fight the corruption that's taken over the world. You'll need to defeat the multiple bosses that are scattered about. Each one is harder than the last. These are some challenging boss battles, especially if you've never played it before, and you'll probably need to spend a lot of time gearing up as best you can to take them down. You need to build a town for NPCs to inhabit. I love this. It's like a puzzle trying to figure out what you need to do to get the specific NPCs to your town. They provide different benefits like a shop or a nurse, or even in some cases added protection. Terraria is an amazing mix of creative building and exploration. The progression not only comes from you kicking the bosses to the curb, but also from the places you'll find and the world you'll build. It's a brilliant game to play with your friends. There are tons of objectives to complete and it's always eventful, especially when nighttime comes around. Well, there you go, there's 5 awesome indie games to get you started. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you leave me a thumbs up, and if you want to see some more indie gaming content every week, make sure you subscribe. Well, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Ta-ta for now.